Thank you for tuning in, and welcome back to the Sounds of Coherency. So let's just go ahead and jump right into this. As you all know, we're still dealing with and trying to fight off the idiocy of what is called the Green New Deal, because that is a load of garbage. But they do have a way of sucking money out of people using that, because that's what it's all about. All this money is being spent, and well, not much has come of it. People are talking about this whole thing. People forget about the billions of dollars that were spent during the Obama administration on green energy and solar companies, and I believe 99% of it all flopped. Basically every bit of taxpayer money that they threw into these people, gone to the wind. One of the companies actually, because rather than make the products in the United States, they took the United States money and then took it to China to make it for cheap so they could pick up a bigger profit on it. Well, the Chinese company, mind you, China doesn't have intellectual property laws, so they had to give their plans to the company making the shit. The company made the shit and made it even cheaper, bought the American company and put them out of business. That didn't work out very well, did it? So again, more wasted money. But I want to bring this article up here from Gizmodo on January 30th. I just want to look at this headline. A Tesla Model S burst into flames on the highway. The incident was caused by a battery fire, authorities said. Firefighters had to use 6,000 gallons of water to extinguish the fire. 6,000. Now, I'm going to scroll down because there's this, here we go. Let's see. Upon arriving at the scene, Metro Fire Sacramento determined the incident had been caused by a battery fire. Authorities said that the Model S had not sustained damage before the fire. Crews worked for over an hour and utilized approximately 6,000 gallons, 22,700 liters of water from 3 fire engines and a water tender for full extinguishment, as recommended in the Tesla Emergency Procedures Manual. 6,000 freaking gallons. I'm going to jump down here. For reference, Metro Fire Sacramento pointed out that a non-electric car with a traditional combustion engine can be put out with about 700 gallons of water, which is the supply of a single fire engine. Modern technology evolution requires continuous advancements in modern firefighting techniques that are currently being evaluated for efficiency. And that's important because that actually brings up something. I saw a video from Charlie Kirk the other day where he was debating somebody on the green energy thing. And the guy basically said, he's not worried about the end result. We just need to do it now. We need to do it now. But the part about this that nobody's thinking about is how do we clean it up? What is the recycling protocol? These lithium batteries have a whole lot of chemicals in them. You can't just throw them in the dump. They can't just be recycled like a regular battery. They have to be taken to separate facilities to be broken down because of all the stuff that's in them to make them run. It's everybody's talking about we need to do this. We have to do this. What about the earth? Blah blah blah. But the problem is that your green energy is doing more damage to the earth. I know people don't like to hear that, but it's true. It's actually true. We have rainforests being cut down to build wind turbines. And those wind turbines, most people don't know this, when they are decommissioned, are pretty much buried. They dig giant holes in the ground, and then they bury the windmills, and then they cover them up. Barely recyclable, because they're not really recyclable. And that's a huge thing, is that everybody's putting forth this idea of how to take money from people, how to do all this, what they call being progressive and all this shit. We got these great ideas of how we're going to do it. What do you do with the waste? How do you clean it up? We don't know. There are other companies out there that can figure that out. No, you should figure it out. I think that It should be standard. If a company is going to make products, they should have some plan in place for how to clean up or recycle said products. I don't see how that's so hard, you know? So right now we're just burying this shit. We're burying them in landfills. No, not all these electric vehicle batteries are recycled. These things end up in the dump. But again, people care about the environment. And so that leads me to my next little bit. And this is from the BBC. This is a Future Planet article. Lithium batteries, big unanswered question. And let's see, we're going to go ahead and scroll down. So I want to look at the production. All right. Let's see, the current shortcomings of lithium battery recycling isn't the only reason they are an environmental strain. Mining the various metals needed for lithium batteries requires vast resources. It takes 500,000 gallons of water to mine 1 ton of lithium. In Chile's Atacama Salt Flats, lithium mining has been linked to declining vegetation, hotter daytime temperatures, and increasing drought conditions in national reserve areas. So even though EVs may help reduce carbon dioxide emissions over their lifetime, the battery that powers them starts its life laden with a large environmental footprint. You know, and so we didn't just start making these electric vehicles. They've been around for a while, and pretty much they've been thrown into the dumps for years and years. This is the environmental impact on the long term from this is going to be more detrimental to the earth than continuing with the protocols of fossil fuels that we've been using. I know they try and sell you on the idea that we're running out of oil and this and that. That is a lie. We're running out of gas. That is a lie. They tell you that to create an idea of scarcity so they can justify charging you more in price. But we are not running out of these things. That is absolute nonsense. We run out simply because, well, production slows down. And they do that to jack up the prices. But again, you know, all this comes down to another part I want to get into, which is tuna, or Greta Thunberg, as many people like to call her. And I personally think that this woman, child at the time, was a mental psyop. One of the things we know is that as humans, we are pre-programmed to listen out for children, the cries of children, to listen. You know, think about it. You have a little kid, you got your child with you, and just talking some random nonsense, okay? You have no clue what they're saying, but you pay attention, you are attentive to them. And doesn't even matter if it's the child's relatives around. Random strangers would just sit and listen to a little kid talk. Oh, it's so cute, blah, blah. Why? Because that's just how our nature is to, we listen to children, whether we understand them or not. It takes a strong adult with a good, sane mind to separate nonsense from reality, which seems to be failing these days, especially in liberal cities. But that's why they wrote Greta Thunberg out to you. It's easier to roll her out than an adult, because you're not really going to pay attention to an adult, but you got this little 16-year-old kid crying on the stage, "You've stolen my future, my childhood," and blah, 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 blah. Despite the fact that what she wants causes more damage to children around the world. For what her and her cronies want, it requires more subjugation of people living in indigenous areas, third world countries, developing nations, whatever you want to call them, especially in the Congo and Africa, where most of this shit comes from. It requires the complete and total exploitation of an entire group of African people and the whole rest of the world. Everybody just sitting around like trying to pretend like it's not happening. My electric vehicle is saving the world. You know it's happening, but you want to turn a blind eye. What can I do? I'm doing the best I can by driving this electric vehicle. Fuck your electric vehicle. Hell, fuck Greta Thunberg, because that little bitch is part of the reason we're in this shit, because we have grown-ups who don't know how to separate nonsense from reality. 16 at the time, right? Again, like I said, she's a little kid, so people were more inclined to be apt to listen. Also, they told you, oh, she's on the spectrum, so now you're not as willing to call out the bullshit. You get what I'm saying? Oh, because when people did, they said, oh, how dare you attack someone on the spectrum and all that kind of bullshit. Oh, she's just a kid. You know, she's showing her emotions. She has no idea what she was talking about. And you had her speaking before the United Nations, before United States leaders and whatnot, giving advice on stuff she had no answers. You know, when people ask, well, what do we do? I don't know. You figure it out. No. You got up here and screamed and shouted at us. You insulted us. You talked down to us. You told us we don't know what we're doing. So obviously you must have a plan. No, there is no plan. She was the face that they put forth before you so that you would get on board with anything and everything that the people, her handlers, her shitty fucking parents, and everyone else who thrust her out to the world wanted.